What if your body already had a built-in fat burning switch, and all you had to do was turn it on? Most people believe that weight loss only happens through extreme diets, endless cardio, or fasting. But what if your body already knew how to burn fat naturally, and all it needed was the right signal? There's a fascinating process called thermogenesis. It's your body's ability to turn stored fat into heat and energy. It's not just a scientific term, it's one of your body's most powerful survival tools. Every time you shiver, feel your core temperature rise after a workout, or even get that warm rush after a spicy meal, your body is activating this internal furnace. The exciting part is that researchers have discovered ways to boost thermogenesis naturally, without relying on caffeine overloads or crash diets. Imagine this: instead of forcing your body to burn calories through deprivation, you teach it to do what it already wants to do: create energy, stay warm, and maintain balance. That's what this Thermo Boost trick does. It gently nudges your metabolism into its optimal zone, so your body begins burning visceral fat around the clock, even while you sleep. And this isn't about hacking your biology or tricking your hormones. It's about working with your body, supporting the systems that regulate energy, blood sugar, and fat storage. The key lies in improving insulin sensitivity and supporting your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside your cells that determine how efficiently your body uses fuel. So as you watch this, I want you to think about your own experiences. Have you ever noticed if your body feeling warmer after movement, certain foods, or even a few minutes of deep breathing? That warmth is your metabolism coming alive, your body's own signal that change is happening. Thermogenesis is one of those incredible biological processes that reminds us just how intelligent the human body really is. At its core, thermogenesis simply means heat creation, but behind that simple definition lies a complex network of systems that determine how efficiently your body burns fat, balances energy, and even regulates mood and focus. When your body generates heat, it's not just warming you up, it's converting stored fat into usable energy. This process happens inside tiny structures within your cells called the mitochondria. You can think of mitochondria as the engines of your body. Their job is to take nutrients from the food you eat, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and transform them into ATP, the energy currency your body runs on. During thermogenesis, these mitochondria ramp up their activity, using more fuel and producing heat as a natural byproduct. That means your body is literally burning calories just to maintain warmth and energy flow. One of the key players in this process is something called das brown adipose tissue, or FAS brown fat. Unlike the white fat that stores energy, brown fat's main purpose is to burn it. Brown fat is rich in mitochondria, and these mitochondria contain a special protein called UCP1-IS, or uncoupling protein 1 point. What UCP1 does is fascinating. It disconnects the usual energy production process, allowing mitochondria to release energy as heat instead of storing it. Essentially, it's your body's built-in furnace. When brown fat is active, it pulls fatty acids and glucose out of your bloodstream and burns them to create warmth. This not only keeps your body temperature stable, but it also helps improve insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for maintaining steady blood sugar levels and preventing fat storage. Studies have shown that people with more active brown fat tend to have lower levels of visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat linked to inflammation, heart disease, and metabolic issues. But here's what's really interesting. Thermogenesis isn't just something that happens when you're cold or exercising. There's a specific type called allogeneic adaptive thermogenesis, which refers to how your body can adapt to daily habits that gently stimulate heat production. This means that small, consistent actions, not extreme workouts or starvation diets, can help your body become a more efficient fat burner over time. For example, when you expose your body to mild cold, like taking a cool shower or spending time in a slightly chilly environment, your brown fat gets activated. Your body senses the temperature change and begins burning stored fat to maintain its core warmth. Similarly, when you eat certain foods like chili peppers, ginger, or green tea, compounds such as capsaicin and a catechin signal your nervous system to boost thermogenic activity. Even breathing deeply, meditating, or practicing short bursts of exercise can trigger the same internal response by balancing your stress hormones and increasing oxygen flow to the mitochondria. It's a gentle dance between your body and your environment, not a fight. Most weight loss methods focus on restriction and deprivation, but thermogenesis is about cooperation. Instead of forcing your body into energy scarcity, you're teaching it to stay in balance, to burn energy efficiently, and to stay resilient in the face of stress. Think of adaptive thermogenesis as training your metabolism like a muscle. Each small, repeated habit, a few minutes of movement, a nutrient-dense meal, or mindful breath work sends a signal to your body that says, stay active, stay alert, stay balanced. Over time, these cues build a stronger, more flexible metabolic system. Your body doesn't want to hold on to excess fat. Fat storage is a protective mechanism, a signal that your system might not feel safe or well-nourished. But when you create an internal environment of stability through warmth, movement, and nourishment, your body begins to trust that it can let go. The Thermo Boost trick works because it taps into these natural rhythms rather than fighting against them. So, the next time you notice yourself feeling slightly warmer after a walk, a spicy meal, or a mindful breath, remember what's happening beneath the surface. Your mitochondria are working harder, your brown fat is coming online. Your body is quietly, efficiently turning stored energy into heat, a signal that you're supporting your metabolism in the most natural, sustainable way possible. Fasting has become one of the most popular methods for fat loss, and it's easy to see why. When you stop eating for long stretches, your body runs out of immediate fuel from glucose and starts tapping into fat stores for energy. In theory, it sounds perfect. Less food equals more fat burned. But in reality, fasting isn't always the fastest or most sustainable way to burn fat. The body is more nuanced than that, and when we push it too hard for too long, it pushes back. When you fast for extended periods, your body enters a state of conservation. It's an ancient survival mechanism. Your metabolism starts to slow down because your system wants to protect its energy reserves. The longer the fasting window, the more your body perceives as a threat. Food is scarce, I need to save energy. As a result, your thyroid hormones may decrease, your resting metabolic rate drops, and your cortisol levels rise. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, increases blood sugar temporarily to provide quick energy, but in doing so, it can also signal your body to store more fat, especially around the midsection. In contrast, thermogenesis works with your body's natural rhythm instead of against it. It doesn't rely on deprivation. It's more like gently stoking a fire instead of starving it of oxygen. When you activate thermogenesis through food movement and mindful breathing, you keep your metabolism awake and engaged. Instead of slowing down to conserve energy, your body stays in a mode of efficient energy use. For example, imagine two people trying to lose fat. One practices long fasting windows every day, skipping meals, drinking only coffee, and waiting for that fat burning window to kick in. The other person focuses on keeping their body warm and metabolically active. They eat balanced meals rich in proteins and thermogenic spices like ginger, chili, and cinnamon. They take a brisk morning walk, breathe deeply, and maybe end their shower with a cool rinse. While the first person might see a short-term drop on the scale, their energy often crashes later, their sleep suffers, and their cravings return. The second person, however, builds a stable metabolic rhythm that continues burning fat consistently. Not through starvation, but through activation. The key difference lies in how your body feels safey. Fasting for too long signals scarcity. Thermogenesis signals abundance and balance. When your body feels safe, it burns fat more freely because it trusts that energy will keep coming in. When it feels threatened, it stores energy as protection. It's also important to understand how thermogenesis keeps hormones balanced. Long-term fasting can disrupt leptin and ghrelin, the hormones that regulate hunger and fullness. You might start feeling ravenous, anxious, or foggy because your brain senses a lack of fuel. Thermogenesis, on the other hand, supports steady blood sugar levels and stable energy. When you activate brown fat, your mitochondria burn stored fat while still receiving nourishment from your diet. That combination prevents your metabolism from entering a survival state. Let's take an everyday example. Say you wake up and start your day with a short walk in cool air, followed by a protein-rich breakfast that includes a little spice, maybe eggs with chili flakes and green tea on the side. That simple morning routine activates thermogenesis through multiple pathways, mild cold exposure, movement, and thermogenic compounds in your food. You've just given your metabolism a clear message: stay on. Your energy rises, your focus sharpens, and your body keeps burning fat throughout the day. Compare that to waking up and skipping breakfast entirely. Your cortisol spikes, you feel jittery or unfocused, and by afternoon, your metabolism slows down to compensate for the energy gap. Even stress management plays a role. When you're chronically stressed, Cortisol blocks thermogenic activity because your body shifts into protection mode. That's why gentle activities like deep breathing, grounding, and light stretching can actually boost fat burning. They calm the nervous system and allow your body to return to metabolic balance. So while fasting can be a tool, it's not the only or even the best one for long-term fat loss. Thermogenesis offers a more stable, body-friendly approach. It doesn't demand sacrifice. It invites awareness. It teaches your metabolism to stay flexible and responsive rather than rigid and reactive. When you create warmth through food, movement, and mindfulness, you give your body permission to let go of stored energy. You're not forcing it to burn fat. You're reminding it that it already knows how. When most people think about hormones and fat loss, they imagine things like willpower, calories, or exercise. But the truth is, your hormones are the real decision makers behind how your body stores or burns fat. They act like signals, constantly communicating messages such as store energy, release energy, or balance blood sugar. Thermogenesis, the process of producing heat from within, can dramatically shift these hormonal messages in your favor. By activating your body's natural heat response, you begin influencing the very hormones that control hunger, cravings, metabolism, and fat storage. One of the most powerful effects of thermogenesis is its impact on insulin sensitivity. Insulin's job is to move glucose from your blood into your cells to be used for energy. But when insulin levels stay high for too long, your cells stop responding efficiently. This is called insulin resistance. It's one of the main reasons people struggle to lose belly fat. Thermogenesis helps reverse this by improving how your body uses glucose. When your mitochondria are active and your brown fat is burning energy, your cells become more responsive to insulin. Glucose moves easily into the muscles and tissues that need it instead of being stored as fat. The result: steadier blood sugar, fewer cravings, and a metabolism that runs more efficiently throughout the day. Thermogenesis also influences another key hormone, is leptin. Leptin is released by fat cells to tell your brain when you're full and when you've had enough energy. But when your metabolism slows or when you carry too much visceral fat, your brain can stop hearing leptin signals. This is called leptin resistance. It makes you feel hungry even when your body has plenty of energy stored. Activating thermogenesis helps restore leptin sensitivity. As your body burns more energy and releases stored fat, leptin starts communicating clearly again. Your brain gets accurate signals of satiety, helping you eat intuitively instead of out of habit or stress. Then there's norepinephrine, a hormone and neurotransmitter that plays a direct role in turning on your internal furnace. When norepinephrine levels rise, it signals brown fat cells to increase mitochondrial activity. This process, called beta-adrenergic stimulation, boosts heat production and fat oxidation. You can think of norepinephrine as your body's natural fat-burning messenger. It tells your metabolism to wake up, mobilize fat stores, and convert them into energy. Interestingly, norepinephrine also helps target visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat that surrounds your organs and contributes to inflammation. Research shows that when thermogenesis is activated through mild cold exposure or certain foods, norepinephrine levels rise and specifically break down fat in these stubborn areas first. It's the body's way of prioritizing fuel from the places that pose the greatest metabolic risk. The beauty of this process is that you don't need extreme methods to trigger it. There are simple, science-backed ways to encourage these hormonal changes through your daily routine. For instance, cold exposure is one of the most effective natural activators of thermogenesis. Taking a brief cool shower, ending your regular shower with 30 seconds of cold water, or even walking in a cool environment can increase norepinephrine production by up to 200–300%. This gentle stress tells your body to warm itself by burning stored fat for energy. Spicy foods offer another easy trigger. Compounds like capsaicin in chili peppers, S-gingerol in ginger, and piperin in black pepper all stimulate thermogenic activity. They raise your body temperature slightly and activate the sympathetic nervous system, the same system responsible for norepinephrine release. Over time, these foods don't just make you feel warm, they actually train your metabolism to stay active and responsive. Then there's strategic breath work, which might seem unrelated to fat loss but is deeply connected. When you breathe deeply and rhythmically, especially through techniques like slow diaphragmatic breathing or alternate nostril breathing, you regulate your nervous system. This reduces chronic cortisol levels. the hormone that blocks thermogenesis when stress is high and allows norepinephrine to do its job efficiently. Controlled breathing increases oxygen flow to your mitochondria, helping them produce more energy and heat. It's a natural, internal switch that tells your body it's safe to burn fuel instead of store it. These small, daily triggers compound over time. A few minutes of cold exposure in the morning, a spicy meal at lunch, and mindful breathing in the evening can collectively train your metabolism to stay in a steady fat-burning rhythm. You're not forcing your body into stress or restriction, you're reawakening the hormonal pathways that evolved to keep you balanced, warm, and energized. When your hormones work in harmony, when insulin is sensitive, leptin is clear, and norepinephrine is active, fat loss stops being a battle. It becomes a side effect of equilibrium. Your body starts to trust its own rhythm again. The Thermo Boost effect is really about that trust, teaching your biology to remember how to self-regulate, to burn energy instead of hoarding it, and to keep your inner furnace glowing long after the moment has passed. Inside every cell of your body lives a network of microscopic engines called mitochondria. They are often described as the power plants of the cell, but they're far more dynamic than that. Mitochondria are like intelligent energy managers. They decide how much fuel your body burns, how efficiently you use oxygen, and even how much heat you produce. Every heartbeat, every breath, every muscle contraction depends on their output. When your mitochondria are strong and active, your metabolism feels steady and your energy flows easily. But when they slow down, everything else follows. Fatigue creeps in fat-burning stalls, and your body's thermostat starts to cool. The mitochondria's main job is to turn nutrients from your food, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids, into ATP, the molecule that powers every cellular function. During this process, mitochondria also generate heat, which helps maintain your core temperature. This heat production is a key part of thermogenesis, your body's built-in mechanism for burning fat and staying warm. In a healthy state, mitochondria can switch between burning carbs and fat seamlessly, depending on what your body needs. But when stress, poor sleep, or nutrient deficiencies enter the picture, that flexibility disappears. Chronic stress, for instance, floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline. In short bursts, these hormones can help mobilize energy, but over time they cause inflammation and oxidative stress that damage mitochondrial membranes. When that happens, your cells lose efficiency. They can't extract as much energy from the same amount of food, and instead of being burned, that energy often gets stored as fat. The same pattern happens with sleep deprivation. During deep sleep, your body repairs damaged mitochondria and removes old or dysfunctional ones through a process called mitophagy. When you cut sleep short, this cleaning process doesn't happen effectively, and your energy production starts to decline. Nutrient deficiencies make this even worse. Mitochondria depend on certain vitamins and minerals, B vitamins, magnesium, coenzyme Q10, and omega-3 fatty acids to function properly. These nutrients act as spark plugs in the biochemical reactions that turn food into energy. Without them, your metabolism feels sluggish, your body temperature drops, and even your mood can shift because your brain isn't receiving enough clean energy. The good news is that mitochondria are incredibly adaptable. They can grow in number and improve in efficiency when given the right conditions. The process of increasing mitochondrial activity and quantity is called mitochondrial biogenesis, and there are science-backed ways to trigger it naturally through everyday habits. One of the simplest yet most powerful is as deep breathing. When you breathe deeply, especially through your diaphragm, you draw in more oxygen, the very fuel mitochondria need to generate energy. Oxygen is like the spark that ignites the entire metabolic process. Most people spend their day breathing shallowly, which keeps the body in a mild state of stress and limits oxygen delivery. But when you take slow, full breaths, you signal safety to your nervous system and feed your mitochondria with what they crave most. Even 5 minutes of mindful breathing each morning can make a noticeable difference in your mental clarity and physical warmth. Short bursts of cold exposure are another mitochondrial activator. When your body senses a drop in temperature, your mitochondria respond by generating more heat. This not only strengthens existing mitochondria, but also encourages your cells to create new ones. Brief exposure, such as ending your shower with cold water or spending a minute outdoors in cool air, can trigger this adaptation. Over time, your body becomes more efficient at producing heat and burning fat, while your mitochondria become more resilient to stress. Healthy fats are another essential ingredient for mitochondrial health. Your cell membranes, including the membranes surrounding your mitochondria, are made largely of fat. Consuming sources like olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, and omega-3 rich fish supports the flexibility and integrity of these membranes, allowing nutrients and oxygen to flow freely in and waste products to move out. These fats also serve as a clean, stable fuel source for your mitochondria, helping your metabolism stay steady between meals. Finally, with trauma as consistent movement keeps your mitochondria young. Exercise doesn't just burn calories in the moment. It sends a signal to your cells that more energy is needed. In response, your body creates new mitochondria to meet the demand. This is why people who move regularly tend to have higher metabolic flexibility and better endurance. Even gentle activity, walking, stretching, or short bursts of movement throughout the day helps maintain this energy, producing rhythm. Each step increases oxygen flow. Each breath nourishes your cells, and each moment of movement reminds your body that it's alive and capable. When you combine these habits, deep breathing, cold exposure, nourishing fats, and steady movement, you're essentially recharging your internal batteries. Your mitochondria become more efficient, your metabolism stabilizes, and your natural warmth returns. The body starts to feel lighter, not because of restriction or force, but because it's functioning the way it's meant to. Your energy doesn't come from caffeine or willpower. It comes from within, from a network of tiny, glowing power plants that thrive when you give them the right conditions to burn bright. Activating your body's natural thermogenesis doesn't require extreme workouts or complicated routines. It's about making small, intentional shifts that consistently nudge your metabolism toward balance and warmth. The most effective approach isn't about pushing harder, but about creating rhythm. When your body learns that heat, movement, and nourishment arrive reliably each day, it stays in a steady fat, burning state without stress or burnout. These daily habits become gentle reminders for your system to stay awake, energized, and metabolically flexible. One of the simplest ways to start is with contrast showers. Alternating between warm and cool water tones the circulatory system and wakes up your brown fat, the type of fat responsible for generating heat. Begin with warm water for a few minutes, then switch to cool water for 30 seconds. The temperature change sends a signal through your nervous system that prompts thermogenesis. It's like giving your body a mild challenge that strengthens its resilience. With practice, you'll notice that these quick bursts of cold not only improve alertness, but also boost your mood, thanks to the release of norepinephrine, the same hormone that activates fat burning. Mindful cold exposure can extend beyond the shower. Simply spending a few minutes outside in cool air with light movement like stretching or walking encourages your body to warm itself naturally. This doesn't mean forcing discomfort. The goal is awareness, not shock. When your body experiences mild cold, your mitochondria get the message to produce more heat, which burns stored fat for energy. The key is to keep it consistent. Even a minute or two each day can gradually train your thermogenic response to stay active throughout the day. Another powerful habit is starting your morning with a source high-protein breakfast. Protein not only supports muscle repair, but also triggers the thermic effect of food, a natural increase in calorie burning that happens during digestion. Studies show that protein can increase metabolic rate by up to 30% more than fats or carbohydrates. A breakfast rich in eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or plant-based protein sets a stable foundation for the day. Adding thermogenic spices, like cinnamon, ginger, or chili flakes, can further enhance this effect. It's not about eating more, but eating smarter, giving your body the fuel it needs to stay warm and energized. While gentle morning movement is another way to invite your metabolism to wake up without overwhelming your system. Instead of jumping straight into high-intensity workouts, focus on movements that stimulate circulation and oxygen flow, stretching, yoga, brisk walking, or a few minutes of mobility work. These kinds of movement activate your muscles and mitochondria in a gradual, sustainable way. When your muscles contract, they send signals to your brown fat to generate heat. Over time, this morning rhythm helps your body stay metabolically active even during periods of rest. One underrated thermogenic habit is deep breathing. It might sound simple, but oxygen is the most essential fuel your mitochondria need to produce energy. Shallow breathing, often caused by stress, limits this oxygen flow and slows your metabolism. Taking 5 minutes each morning for deep, rhythmic breathing, inhaling slowly through your nose, holding for a moment, and exhaling through your mouth helps oxygenate your cells and calm your nervous system. This combination of oxygen and relaxation allows your mitochondria to work efficiently while keeping cortisol, your stress hormone, in check. Nutrition also plays a role beyond just macronutrients. Hydration and minerals are vital for maintaining thermogenic balance. Water itself has a mild thermogenic effect because your body expends energy to warm it to body temperature. Adding a pinch of mineral salt or magnesium-rich foods helps your cells absorb water efficiently, improving circulation and energy flow. Think of hydration as a gentle signal that keeps all your metabolic pathways running smoothly. The most important part of all these habits is, says, consistency over intensity. A single cold shower or workout won't transform your metabolism, but small, steady actions create a rhythm your body begins to trust. Over time, this rhythm builds a self-sustaining loop. You move a little each day, your mitochondria stay active, your energy rises, and your body burns fat more efficiently, not because you forced it to, but because it learned that it's safe and supported. It's easy to overlook the power of simplicity in a world obsessed with quick fixes. But thermogenesis thrives on repetition, not shock. Your body doesn't need to be pushed into submission. It needs to be guided back into balance. When you create a routine of warmth, nourishment, and gentle activation, you teach your metabolism to stay steady all day long. The result isn't just fat loss. It's vitality, warmth, and a sense of flow between your mind and body. Each breath, each bite, each mindful moment becomes part of that rhythm, small shifts that build into big metabolic wins. Your metabolism isn't broken, it's just been trained by modern life to stay in storage mode. Long hours of sitting, processed foods, artificial lighting, chronic stress, and inconsistent sleep all send the same message to your body: conserve energy, hold on to fat, and slow things down. But here's the encouraging truth. Your metabolism is highly adaptable. With the right signals, it can shift back into burn mode, using stored fat efficiently for fuel. Thermogenesis is the key to unlocking that adaptability, the process that retrains your system to remember what it's designed to do: naturally generate energy, stay warm, and feel balanced. Every time you activate thermogenesis through cold exposure, movement, deep breathing, or nourishing food, you're sending your body a signal of safety and readiness. You're saying, energy is available, it's okay to release what you've stored. Over time, these repeated cues strengthen your body's metabolic flexibility, its ability to switch between burning carbohydrates and fats for energy depending on what's available. When you build this flexibility, you no longer rely on constant snacking, caffeine, or strict fasting windows to feel energized. Your mitochondria begin to prefer fat as fuel, which not only supports steady energy, but also keeps your blood sugar balanced and your mood stable. This shift toward fat adaptation is one of the most powerful outcomes of consistent thermogenic activation. In a fat-adapted state, your body taps into its own reserves with ease, turning stored triglycerides into usable energy and heat. That's why people who regularly stimulate their thermogenesis often describe feeling naturally warmer, calmer, and more mentally clear. Their energy doesn't spike and crash, it flows steadily throughout the day because their cells have learned how to create energy efficiently from within. When your body learns to rely on fat as its primary energy source, something else remarkable happens. Inflammation decreases. Visceral fat, the deep fat around your organs, is metabolically active and can release inflammatory molecules when it builds up. But when you activate thermogenesis and begin burning this fat for energy, you reduce those inflammatory signals, supporting not just weight stability, but overall metabolic health. This is how warmth and balance inside the body translate into better immunity, clearer thinking, and emotional resilience. The process doesn't happen overnight. It's built through repetition. The small, steady choices that train your metabolism to stay awake and responsive. Each time you take a contrast shower, eat a thermogenic meal, go for a brisk walk, or practice calm breathing, your body learns. It's almost like reprogramming a computer that's been running on outdated software. With each gentle update, your body rewrites its default setting from store energy to use energy. The more you engage in these small acts, the more efficient your energy system becomes. And the beauty of this approach is that it doesn't require perfection or intensity. It's not about cutting out entire food groups or pushing yourself through exhaustion. It's about creating a steady, supportive environment where your body feels safe enough to function optimally. When your nervous system is calm, when you're well nourished, when your cells are oxygenated, your metabolism stops bracing for scarcity and begins to thrive in abundance. That's the real power of thermogenesis. It restores your body's trust in itself. This trust shows up in how you feel day to day. Your hunger signals normalize, your cravings soften, your body temperature feels balanced. You wake up with natural energy instead of needing stimulation to get going. These are signs that your internal systems are communicating clearly again, that your mitochondria, hormones, and nervous system are working together instead of competing for control. Your body already knows how to burn fat. It's been doing it for thousands of years as part of its survival blueprint. What's changed is the environment, not your biology. The modern world has simply dulled that internal switch, but the Thermo Boost habits help you flip it back on one small signal at a time. Every breath, every meal, every mindful moment of warmth or coolness teaches your body to remember what it's capable of. You don't need to fight your metabolism or force it into compliance. You just need to remind it how to function as it was meant to. Thermogenesis is that reminder, the gentle, biological language your body already understands. By reawakening your thermal response, you reclaim not just fat-burning efficiency, but energy, mood, and vitality. Your body is not the enemy, it's the partner that's been waiting for you to listen. Once you learn how to speak its language again, you realize the switch was never broken, it only needed to be turned back on.